Herzlich willkommen bei Scorpio. Heute wollte ich mal wieder den Finger in die Wunde legen bei Dingen, die zusammenpassen, sich aber eigentlich widersprechen.
Thus the Starks took it upon themselves to unify the North under them. They drove the pirates out of White Knife and claimed the eastern coast and married the Marsh King's daughter for the neck. The Stark wrestled for Bear Island and won. Or so they say. Silly stories. Blood and Steel won the North, and the Starks had the most of both. After years of war, my ancestors gave up their barbaric practices and bent the knee to their new kings. Thus Haus Bolton became what we are today, loyal bannermen and staunch ally to the Starks, and the second greatest house in the North.
Bread, and 2 of this little fish. And a mug of dark beer to wash it down.
And bacon, burnt black.
Thus Haus Bolton became what we are today, loyal bannermen and staunch ally to the Starks, and the second greatest house in the North.
Your words will disappear. Your house will disappear. Your name will disappear. All memory of you will disappear.
Was auf jeden Fall nicht abzustreiten ist, ist, dass das Fresko im Hintergrund deutliche Ähnlichkeiten aufweist. Auch die Kreuze auf den Karten haben diverse Ähnlichkeiten mit dem Lennister Schwert. Auch Sansas Video über den Norden würde dazu passen.
The North is the oldest and largest of the 7 kingdoms, but Haus Stark has not always held it. When Bran the Builder raised Winterfell and founded our line, we were vassals to the Barrow Kings, who claimed descent from the first king and thus dominion over all the first men. But after the long night, it was our house who built the wall and set the Night's Watch to guard the realms of men, whilst our king sat in his barrow. My ancestors eventually revolted, waging what singers call the 1,000 Years' War, to free our lands. Other families joined us, recognizing that the North is a cold and hard land and needed a king who served its people before himself. Finally, the last Barrow King bent the knee, and Haus Stark became the kings of winter. Yet we were kings in name only.
Der Winter ist hier.
Tja, das hat uns Vater immer versprochen, richtig?
For by then the North had fractured into petty kingdoms, and my ancestors would struggle to unite it again for thousands of years. Roderick Stark wrestled an Ironborn lord for Bear Island and granted it to House Mormont when he won. A younger son of our family, Carlon Stark, won his own keep after he put down a rebellion and founded House Stark, one of the most powerful in the North. When the Mandaleys were exiled from the Reach, my ancestors shielded them and gave them a home at the mouth of the White Knife, in return for holding the river against pirates and invaders. Now they're one of the wealthiest houses.
Claimed the eastern coast and married the Marsh King's daughter for the neck. The Stark wrestled for Bear Island and won.
It is time.
The Doom took Valyria in minutes, but the rest of Essos wasn't so lucky.
Haus Regen war eine mächtige Familie. Sehr wohlhabend. Die zweitreichste in Westeros. Sind jetzt nicht die Tyrells die zweitreichste Familie in Westeros?
Each link signifies mastery, or at least what those withered old men in the Citadel consider mastery, of a different area of study. Gold for the study of sums.
Streng genommen wird auch hier gezählt.
Streng genommen.
Alle Meister des Nordens sollen ihre Aufzeichnungen nach Erwähnungen von Drachenglas durchforsten. Drachenglas tötet weiße Wanderer. Es ist für uns jetzt wertvoller als Gold.
The door in the vault is made of Valyrian stone. The hardest steel does not make a mark.
Hier in Astapor sehen wir zum Beispiel eine rote Harpie in schwarzen Ketten.
Samwell Tarly. He was my brother at the Night's Watch. A man I trust as much as anyone in this world. He's discovered proof that Dragonstone sits on a mountain of dragonglass.
Nun gab es ja Daenerys Weg nach Meereen und die Sklavenbucht wurde umbenannt in Drachenbucht.
When I reached manhood, my father put me in charge of all the drains and cisterns in Casterly Rock.
A most high-born plumber.
The water never flowed better, and all the shit found its way to the sea. So when my father named me acting hand...
You're quite good at being hand, you know. Jon Arryn and Ned Stark were good men. Honorable men. But they disdained the game and those who played. You enjoy the game.
I do. Last thing I expected.
And you play it well.
I like to keep playing it.
Little birds sing in the west, and little birds sing in the east. And a harpy flies into a spider's web.
The Lord of Light is real. And if he's real, then all of it is real. Man once again faces the war for the dawn, which has been waged since time began. On one side is the Lord of Light, the heart of fire, the god of flame and shadow. Against him stands the great other, whose name may not be spoken. The Lord of Darkness, the soul of ice, the god of night and terror. According to prophecy, our champion will be reborn, to wake dragons from stone and reforge the great sword Lightbringer that defeated the darkness those thousands of years ago.
With arts now lost to the world, we transformed a tiny outpost into Dragonstone, a fortress fit for the last Dragon Lords. Then Aenar's descendants settled into it like a tomb for their lost homeland. Until Aegon.
We know that dragonglass can destroy both White Walkers and their army. We need to mine it and turn it into weapons.
Power resides where men believe it resides. It's a trick, a shadow on the wall.
Thus House Bolton became what we are today, loyal bannermen and staunch ally to the Starks.
Power resides where men believe it resides. It's a trick, a shadow on the wall.
Baratheon bedeutet mir gar nichts. Genauso wenig wie Stannis. Warum sollten die von einem blumigen Thron im Süden aus über mich und die meinen herrschen? Was wissen die von der Mauer oder dem Wolfswald? Selbst ihre Götter sind die Falschen. Warum regieren wir uns nicht wieder selbst?
But after the long night, it was our house who built the wall and set the Night's Watch to guard the realms of men.
Wir haben uns den Drachen unterworfen. Doch die Drachen sind jetzt tot.
Ja, das eine oder andere wirft ja dann doch schon Fragen auf. Geht es letztendlich um Wahlkampf? Ist nach der Wahl vor der Wahl? Das wirft natürlich ein anderes Bild auf die lange Nacht. Aber vielleicht sind auch alle Lügner da. Oder die Abfolge stimmt einfach nicht. To go east, you have to go west. Ich bleib jedenfalls dabei, an der Geschichte ist was faul. Bis zum nächsten Mal.
There is only one war that matters. The Great War. And it is here.
I've got 7 kingdoms to rule. 1 king, 7 kingdoms. Do you think honor keeps them in line? Do you think it's honor that's keeping the peace? It's fear. Fear and blood.
A girl is Arya Stark of Winterfell, and I'm going home.